Welcome to YTT. There's a video of a sermon that was done on Sabbath. And it's one of the best explanations and sermons I have found on the Middle East crisis. Whether or not it's connected to the church, it's connected to the history, and it's actually placed in the Bible in the prophecies that we need to read and look forward to. So I want you to listen to it because I think it's a very, very good sermon done, and it just simplifies everything from history to the reason why Jews are hated, to the reason why the current Jews are having problems with the Arabs around them, and what the Bible has to say over the future of the land. And whether or not it's connected to the mark of the beast even. So just listen to it and then be blessed.
Good morning. Happy Sabbath. We're glad to be here today in Livingston, Seventh-day Adventist Church, to share the word as it applies to the current events. I'm a Jamaican by birth. I've been an Adventist from way back in the 70s. Became an Adventist at the age of 19. Amen. And that was back in 1978. And ever since, I have been standing firm with this three angels message. It has been my hobby to study the Word. And today I'm going to be addressing a very important topic. You know, we are the Laodicean church. So we're the church of judgment. But I want to get a little deeper into this topic today. My topic is the judgment of the living. Since 1844, judgment, the investigative judgment has been going on in heaven since 1844. But there's a thought here that I want to keep in mind. And this is a statement. It is the Great Controversy 490. The Great Controversy 490. Solemn are the scenes connected with the closing work of the atonement. Momentous are the interests involved therein. The judgment is now passing in the sanctuary above. For many years, this work has been in progress. Soon, none know how soon, it will pass to the cases of the living. You know, as we think of the judgment, we think of the bookwork in heaven where God is going through the record of the dead. But few of us think of it in the sense that this judgment is soon to pass to the cases of the living. Now, the dead can't do anything about their life, but the living can. And that's the reason why we want to focus upon the judgment of the living. But as we go along, we're going to realize that when that time does come for God to judge the living, the world will be in chaos and war. And we are in such a case at this time. The war presently in the Middle East is one of the worst wars because the whole world is affected. So we want to see if this war in Palestine today in the Middle East has anything to do with prophecy. That is what we want to try to address today. Is this current war relevant to prophecy? Now this morning we were watching the screen there, and it was about the three angels message. But I want to address a point here. You know, many of us as Adventists are concerned, what is going on? You know, most of us, we think of the Catholic Church, the papacy, the mark of the beast, all these things, what is in our minds. But today, the focus is on Palestine. Jerusalem. Now, what has that to do with prophecy? Is that a big concern? because something of this nature could not be on foot and it is not somewhere in the prophecy. Now look at this reference here, Christian health, counsel and health. This is our work. The light that we have upon the third angel's message is the true light. The mark of the beast is exactly what it has been proclaimed to be. Not all in regard to this matter is yet understood, and will not be understood until the unrolling of the scroll. But a most solemn work is to be accomplished in our world. So what we want to do here is not to set our stakes, as if, well, this is what it is, and it's not going to be anything else. Sister White is here saying, not all is understood, and something will not be understood until the scroll unrolls. So we have to be observing all the events taking place in the world today. I bring another statement. The great controversy. Saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast. Here is clearly presented a form of government in which the legislative power rests with the people. A most striking evidence that the United States is the nation denoted in the prophecy. But what is the image of the beast? And how is it to be formed? The image is made by the two-horned beast, and is an image of the beast. It is also called an image of the beast. Then to learn what the image is like and how it is to be formed, we must study the characteristic of the beast itself, the papacy. So I want us to bear these things in mind. To understand how we're going to have a mark of the beast system in our time, we have to understand how it was developed back then in Roman time. That's why they are saying you must study the characteristic of the beast of the past. Now, what does have to do with the present world crisis? As we'll go along, we'll see exactly what I'm trying to say. Now, here is another statement I'm going to present here. Education 179. Education 179. The present is a time of overwhelming interest to all living, rulers and statesmen, men who occupy positions of trust and authority, thinking men and women of all ages have their attention fixed upon the events taking place about us. They are watching the strained, restless relations that exist among the nations. They observe the intensity that is taking possession of every earthly element. And they are recognized that something great and decisive is about to take place. That the world is on the verge of a stupendous crisis. And that was from the book Education. Another reference here from Testimonies 9, page 11. The days in which we live are solemn and important. The Spirit of God is gradually but surely being withdrawn from the earth. Plagues and judgments are already falling upon the despisers of the grace of God. The calamities by land and sea, the unsettled states of society, the alarms of war are portentous. They forecast approaching events of the greatest magnitude. The agencies of evil are combining their forces and consolidating. They are strengthening for the last great crisis. Great changes are soon to take place in our world, and the final movements will be rapid ones. Now, for the past 4 years or so, we can say to ourselves, this is a new world we're living in. Everything is different, It's a different world with everything changing. And worse, for the past 1 year, we are supposed to be saying, is this America? Changes, rapid, overnight. But we have to understand, what are all these events trying to say to us? That is our concern. And we must not forget that there's a demon involved in all of this. While appearing, I'm going to go back to the great controversy 589. While appearing to the children of men as great physician who can heal all their maladies, he will bring diseases and disaster until popular cities are reduced to ruin and desolation. Even now he is at work in accidents, calamities by sea and by land, in great conflagrations, in fierce tornadoes and terrific storms, hailstorms, in tempests, floods, cyclones, tidal waves, and earthquake. In every place and in 1,000 forms, Satan is exercising his power. This is the world we are now living in. Everything is record-breaking tornadoes, record-breaking cold, record-breaking heat. Everything is record-breaking these days. And we have to understand that the demons, Satan himself is involved in all these things too. Don't think it's just nature. The devil wants as many of us to die without turning to Jesus Christ. So bring upon all of us all these issues. But we want to be clear where we are heading at this time. Now I hope to give this presentation in 2 parts. For the video's sake, we can share others later because we can't finish everything this morning. Now, let me bring out another thought. I'm now in about great gospel workers 407. It says there should be less preaching and more teaching. There are those who want more definite light than they receive from hearing sermons. Some need a longer time than do others to understand the points presented. If the truth presented could be made a little plainer, they would see it and take hold of it, and it would be like a nail fastened in a sure place. Now, many of us hear the truth, but do not understand the truth. Once I say to brother, can I explain to you the third angel's message? He says, why would you want to explain that to me? I'm an Adventist. I know the third angel's message. I said, my brother, I just want you to tell me what the third angel say. He didn't know, but he could tell me that he have been hearing this for years. But the point is, be definite, explain it. You cannot. So that's what she's there saying. Your time must be spent in teaching the people. They hear stuff, but they don't understand stuff. So they need to be teaching and less preaching. So today we're going to do a little teaching. And if you hear me say something that you do not understand, ask me. Today. Then it says there, if the truth presented could be made a little plainer, they would see it and take hold of it, and it would be like a nail fastened in a sure place. The time has past shown that both teachers and students know very little in regard to the awful truths which are living issues for this time. Should the third angel's message be proclaimed in all lines to many who stand as educators, it would not be understood by them. But books and papers that contain little of present truth are exalted, and men are becoming too wise to follow, thus saith the Lord. So don't be surprised today if you hear me explain something that you may say, it's the first I've heard that, But it is just saying, if the fullness of the third angel message is proclaimed, many of us will not understand it, although we have been preaching all these years. Because we have not gone down to the details to get everything clear. Is an issue. Now, let us just review this very popular statement. The first angel's message. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear God, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. And worship him that made the heavens, the earth, and the sea, and the fountains of waters. God is here saying what? Fear God. Now, since 1844, well, let me just back up here. Daniel 8:14. On 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. We are well acquainted with that. From 457 BC to 1844, that's the 2,300 days. And according to Ezekiel 4, verse 6, a day for a year, we as Adventists say that 2,300 days mean 2,300 years. And that is understood. The key point here, that in the year 1844, it was being proclaimed to fear God and give glory to him for what? The hour of his judgment is come. See, it's coming present. It's right here now. Not will, not have been, but is. So judgment is in process since 1844 when we proclaim this message. Okay? And as I read in the beginning, I will repeat it here, is that for years we have been proclaiming the message of the judgment as Laodiceans. But we need to understand what happened here when it says, soon, none know how soon it will pass to the cases of the living. We want to explain what is going to be taking place in the world when God starts to judge the living. That is the issue at hand. Now, I want us to take our attention now to the present crisis that we are facing in the world. A war in the Middle East that is involving everybody. Even if you are not there physically, you are feeling it at the gas pump. The world is in chaos. But we must understand the importance of the issue in Palestine, Jerusalem. See, we want to take our minds a little bit at this time from Rome and move it down into Palestine to realize that it's a part of the prophecy as to what is taking place in Palestine today. So let us go back here now to Jesus talking. And we are going to go back here now to Luke 21:24 down. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the wave roaring, men's heart failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heavens shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Now we are focusing our mind upon the last verse, seeing the Son of Man coming in power and great glory. But associated with that is the fact that you must understand what verse 24 and 25 is saying, because that's what's going to lead you to verse 27. So what does it mean by saying Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until? So let's go back a little history here. We know that the 12 tribes of Israel existed. And Solomon was the king back then. And after Solomon died, his son took over, Rehoboam. And Rehoboam was addressed by the people, and they are saying to Rehoboam, please lower the taxes, because Solomon had a very heavy tax on us, lower the taxes. And Rehoboam said, let me go and ask. So he went to the old folks, and the old folks say yes, lower the taxes. Then he went to the young folks says no, raise it. And you know what eventually happened? The 12 tribes were divided into two after this speech. So we had the 2 tribe Judah, 10 tribe Israel. It's a division. Now immediately after the division, Jeroboam, Solomon's general in the army, Jeroboam took control of the 10 tribes, and Rehoboam controlled 2. Now, I should get a little reference here that could possibly help the situation. I'm going to go to Patriarchs, Prophets and Kings, just to confirm it from Ellen G. White. The breach created by the rash speech of Rehoboam proved irreparable. Henceforth, the 12 tribes of Israel were divided. The tribes of Judah and Benjamin composing the lower southern kingdom of Judah under the rulership of Rehoboam, while the 10 northern tribes form and maintain a separate government known as the Kingdom of Israel, with Jeroboam as their ruler. Thus was fulfilled the prediction of the prophets concerning the rending of the kingdom. The cause was of the Lord. So have then that in mind. Kingdom is divided into 2. We have Israel and we have Judah. So back to this situation here. Now if you go to Kings, 2 Kings, it explains there that after the division, the 10 tribes led by Jeroboam began to worship idols. And as a result, the Lord sent the Assyrians to scatter the 10 tribes. And today we call them the lost 10 tribes. 2 tribes remain in Palestine, and then they begin to sin likewise. And these 2 tribes went to Babylon for 70 years. And after 70 years, they returned back to Palestine to prepare the way for the Messiah. The Messiah came, and these 2 tribes, then known as the Jews, they crucified Jesus Christ. So here Christ is saying to these Jews, you see this city here called Jerusalem? It's going to be trodden down of the Gentiles. The Gentiles are going to come here and destroy this city. And it shall be occupied by Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Now, AD 70, the Romans came, Titus from Rome came and destroyed Jerusalem and demolished it. Today, all they have left there is what they call a wailing wall, where the Jews go and be wailing. That's what is left of Jerusalem. But we have to listen to what God is here saying. God is saying, this Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until. So when you use the word until, it means there is a limitation. So over the years, the land of Palestine have been occupied by Gentiles, but there's a limitation. So what happened here now is that in World War II, England was in control of that territory. And England was involved with a war in World War II. And England negotiated with the Jews, scattered all over the world. You know, Jews, they mainly run business. They control the banks, stores, and all that. So England said, if you Jews assist me in World War II, I'll cause you to return back to Palestine and establish yourself as a nation. And they made an agreement. So finally, in 1948, England gave amnesty to the Jews to return back to Palestine. Now, these Jews who are now living in Europe, some people say, well, they're not real Jews, they're only theologian Jews, but not by blood. It's a controversy as to who a real Jew is. But anyway, these Jews, on their return to Palestine to establish themselves, the land is occupied by the Palestinians. So there was a war. And as a result, the Jews pushed these Palestinians into a little corner called Gaza. And by they doing that to the Palestinians into Gaza, it created a hatred for the Jews in that region. And that hatred goes on even to today. And, you know, the United Nations really want to have two states there, a Jewish state and a Palestinian state. But the Jews says, no, only one state. So there's a big issue. Should we have two states? So today, what we have there is the Jews, led by Netanyahu, is saying, I'm going to demolish Gaza. And we have seen it. You know, there's only one building still standing. He has demolished it. Now, that is a crisis. Now, the next fear that the Jews have is Iran. Because Iran says, I'm going to remove you from the map. So as a result, the Jews are fearful of Iran ever having a nuclear bomb, because all you're going to take is one bomb and it disappears. So that led to this present war. Then America, the only really friends she has down there is the Jews, Jerusalem, Israel. So America backs Israel. And there comes the complex situation. Now, my topic was the judgment of the living during a time of war. Why am I saying that? The reason why I'm saying that is what is brought out here in Joel. So let me comment here on Joel 3 verse 1 and 2. It says here, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So here God is concerned that the land of Palestine today is parted and my people are scattered. Then here's the key verse, verse 9 and 10. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Now, can you understand that? It's a proclamation from God himself. Proclaim it. Let the Gentiles come. Prepare for what? War. And in this situation, it says, let the weak say, I'm strong. You know, let the weak nation say, I'm ready for America. You know, you're not big enough for me. You know, weak nations are now saying, I'm strong in this particular confrontation. But notice what it says there. 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. What is here saying? That we have come to a time where the nations are now investing the money that they should have been using for farming implement. They are now investing that money into weapons. That's why it says, beat your plowshares into swords. The plowshare is supposed to be something you used to be farming. But God is here saying, turn all that into a weapon. We have these nations in Africa, they don't even have food to eat. But you know what? They have guns. So this would be a characteristic of the time where men are now turning their farming implements into weapons of war. And that's where we stand right now in this preparation for this war. And let the weak nations say that they are strong. That's where we stand today. Continuing it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be awakened, and come up to the valley of Josaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, verse 13. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The vats overflow, for the wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. Now, these are very important statements. Going back. So we are seeing here that the nations are preparing for war. They are using their money that they should be using to produce food. They are using that to produce weapons. That's the plan. The strong, weak nations are saying, I'm strong, I'm ready to attack any big nations. I'm ready to attack the superpowers. That's what we're facing. Now, what is going to take place during all of this now is God Himself intervening. Verse 11 says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. So we're going to have an intervention from God with His angels coming to intervene in this crisis. Right now the world is like, what is going to be next? But the key point here is this: let the heathen be awakened and come to the valley of Josaphat, for they will I sit to judge. So see, God is going to judge both the church and the world. But it's this situation in which He will come to judge. And notice here, when this time of war is at hand, God says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. You see, in this period of war and uncertainty, people are now crying to God, Lord, Lord, Lord. And that's why it says, in this situation, with this war-mongering situation, God is saying, it is time for me to reap the harvest. Because multitudes are what? They are now in the valley of decision. They are confused. They are crying out unto God. So the war is a part of God's agenda to save humanity. Because during that time, He's saying, put the sickle in. Because the harvest is ripe. Because multitudes are now what? In the valley of decision. We have not seen anything yet. We are just, as the Bible says, this is just the beginning of sorrows. Just the beginning of sorrows. But it's a means by which God can help you to make a decision on His side. And that's why it's called here, multitudes are in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord. See it? The day of the Lord is near. So God caused all these things to happen. You know, we have this president who is doing things that no other president would think of doing. But he's here. So it's a part of God's plan. You know, sometimes God even used the wicked and called them my servant. You know, it says, Nebuchadnezzar my servant, because Nebuchadnezzar was to do something that God wanted to get done. Now, this president is doing things that no other one would conceive of doing. But it is to prepare the way. It's to prepare the way of this uncertainty going on in the world today. And that's what is going on today. The Lord allow it. Right now, the Middle East is on fire. Can you imagine? The Arab nations are around saying, how could Iran do this to us? You know that our only living expense comes from oil. And then you come and blow up my refinery. You're going up and blow up my water refinery because we have nothing there to drink more than trying to convert seawater to fresh water. And you can blow up that facility. So what do you want us to die for hunger now? Thirst? See, the Middle East is in a crisis. Israel thought that she alone had bombs. But they are now wondering where did Iran get all these bombs dropping on them right now. So Iran is now doing to Israel what Israel was doing to Gaza. And the law in Israel today is, if you report what takes place here, we put you in jail. So you're not hearing half of what is taking place in Israel today because they're hiding it. But Israel is on fire too. The world is at a crisis hour. But hear what follows in Joel at this juncture where the nations are in valley of decision. What we are yet to see is God Himself intervening. As we read this morning, or listened this morning, that there was a decree made by Nebuchadnezzar that, you should not bow down. But 3 men decide we're not bowing. I mean, no, he made every decree that everybody should bow, rather. But 3 men say we will not bow. You see, it is in those times of crisis when everybody's looking that God intervenes. Because while they throw these 3 men in the fire, they saw 4. They said, we put 3 men in there. How are we looking at 4? You see, God chose the time to intervene. The Lord told Moses, I want you to take these people out of Egypt, then in Palestine. Now, when the children of Israel were coming down from Palestine, they did not cross a sea. But when they are going back, the sea is in front of them. Because what? God told Moses to follow the cloud. But the cloud went south. If he had gone north, he could pass through a strip of land, where today have the Suez Canal. He could just walk there and go back to Palestine, but the cloud went south to the sea. And it's at that moment, when the sea is in front of them and Pharaoh's army is back of them, that God intervened and divided the sea. See, the Lord always chooses an event to what? Expose the people and to demonstrate His mighty power. So what is going to happen right now is that God is about to manifest Himself to the nations, that they may realize that He is God. So that's what's going on right now. God is about to manifest Himself. That's why it says there in verse 15, the sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall draw their shining. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion, and utter His voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. The Lord will be the hope of His people, and the strength of the children of Israel. So shall they know that I am the Lord, your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall be no stranger pass through her anymore. So God is to do a cleansing work to take place. Because soon all nations will come to the conclusion that this is God. God is about to manifest Himself in a way that the nations will have to acknowledge that He is God. But the question is, why is it the Lord is here saying, and the Lord also shall roar out of Zion, and utter His voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall quake, shall shake. This piece of land called Palestine, it is where God allowed His Son to be born. And there's going to be spectacular events taking place in that same piece of land. Let me draw your attention to one little simple point here. Let me give you a map of the Middle East. Now, when the Lord says, I'm going to give the children of Israel a certain piece of land, let me show you where that land is. And that is Genesis 15. Genesis 15:18 says, in this same day the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river Euphrates. Now, presently, the land that is occupied by the so-called Jews is maybe just 150 miles long and 50 miles wide. And that's now the land of contention, with 3 sections of controversy: West Bank, Golan Heights, and the Gaza Strip. But bear in mind what God says here. The land that God gave to Abraham extends from the river Nile of Egypt to the river Euphrates. So the land of promise that God gave to Abraham involves Syria. Syria is a part of the Holy Land. Iraq is a part of the Holy Land. Jordan is a part of the Holy Land. Lebanon is a part of the Holy Land. That's the Holy Land. So when you hear them fighting in those territories, you need to understand it's a holy war in process. Present day Palestine, Jerusalem, the Jews live in just this little part here, just this. That's all we have today called Israel, that little part. And then the bottom part of it is Gaza. Then you have West Bank, this little piece here, and the Golan Heights. Now those are controversial territories because the Golan Heights is supposed to be a part of Syria, and the West Bank is supposed to be a part of Jordan, and Gaza is supposed to be a part of Egypt. But Israel occupied those territories and caused controversy. Now, having that in mind, we now realize that we are now facing a holy war. A holy war is going on in Palestine. Now, how important that is? Okay, so let me just summarize what's going on so far. Now, in Zechariah chapter 1, verse 18 to 21, will give us a pretty picture of what this situation is. So here in vision, Zechariah said, "Then lift up mine eyes, and I saw, and behold, 4 horns." So Zechariah saw 4 horns in his vision. "And I said unto the angel, What talk with me? What be these? And he answered me, These are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem." So this vision, he saw these horns, and he says, "What are these horns?" He says, "These are the Gentile nations that have come along and scattered all 12 tribes. Scattered Judah and Israel. Judah, the 2 tribes, Israel, 10 tribes. These are what these horns represent." Then verse 20 says, "And the Lord showed me 4 carpenters. Then said I, What come these to do? And he spake, saying, These are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. But these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horns over the land of Judah, to scatter it." Now we read in the very first statement where it says, "Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of Gentile be fulfilled." So when the Jews were thrown out of Palestine, Gentiles came in and occupied it. Then God is there saying, "I'm going to bring some other Gentiles to drive them out also." So that's why we have the 2 representation here. Horns, then carpenters. But carpenters come to do some repair work, because that's what carpenters are. They build stuff, okay? Now, the situation lies here that God has all of these things in prophecy. But we have to put all these in the focus. You know, what is going on today in the Middle East is fulfillment of prophecy. But these prophecies we do not really touch. We don't touch these prophecies. You know, Zechariah, what has to do with me? But it's all there, the details. Gentiles are going to come and cast Gentiles out. So later on this evening, we're going to tell you why is it that God wants the Gentiles out of the land. Because that is the plan. Gentiles will come and drive them out. We'll understand what that is all about next time, possibly in part 2. But what is going on today in Palestine, in Israel, is prophetic. It is prophetic, and it comes right back to the prophecy there in Luke 21. Luke 21. "And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentile be fulfilled." So for 2,000 years, there have been this gap where there have been no sacrifices, no synagogue going on down there as such. The Jews are out of the land for near 2,000 years, and the time has come where it says the time of the Gentiles is fulfilled. It is time for God to intervene. And what God is going to do is the most important matter yet, because what is next to be seen in that land is a manifestation from God himself, just as important as when the Red Sea was divided. We're going to see something marvelous taking place in that land when all eyes, see the Lord do it this way, all eyes are on Palestine, all eyes are on Jerusalem. Then God intervened. So later on, I'm going to tell you what God's going to do when all eyes are in Palestine. Wow. Amen.